NFL Big five biggest games on the schedule that were not Ravens games. Last week had games. I felt like I almost left off Buffalo and Miami. I didn't put that in, so I almost felt remiss. But it kind of went the way I thought. Miami got rolled. Tua got knocked out with a bad concussion. He's going to play again. To short, I'd say more, but he's going to play again. Nobody's going to toss away hundreds of millions of dollars if there's a chance he can play. He's going to play, so no question about that. Buffalo looks good so far, so definitely on that. All right, sorry about that. So last week we were talking about the games. Bengals and Chiefs, I thought was the game of the Sunday. I thought the Chiefs kind of escaped. Bengals got off to a slow start. If anything about the Ravens, they're kind of in the division. They're kind of in the division with a bunch of teams with a slow starts and not just them. So I thought the Bengals and both teams were really good. Chiefs wind up going 0-2, getting away. Falcons, I think, are and the Eagles, I thought it was decent. I thought it was an ugly game. All the Eagles games are ugly. Eagles, I think, are going to be fine. Falcons, I think, are going to be fine. They're both going to win. Both teams are about what I thought they were. Barkley just couldn't hold on to the football, and I think otherwise they put that one away at the end. Lions, they kind of got away from script. I think they're not good enough where as good as I think they are, they got to stay on script. Bucks, I think, are a real legit team. I don't think we need to stop. Baker Mayfield is a solid NFL quarterback, and if you don't put him away, I mean, he's definitely winning a lot of these close games. Shout out for him. And the Colts and the Packers, Malik Willis. The Colts, I don't know what to say. I mean, I think they're a bit. I kind of. Richardson just not ready to play. I think like he's just not the accuracy with the throwing. He throws a great deep ball, but that's about he's just not ready yet. Jags and Browns as well. Yeah. I don't know what to make. Watson was better. Lawrence was worse. I would say this. Lawrence has been worse. His line is terrible. He's got both sides of the line bad in Jacksonville. All right, let's talk about this week's game. The Dolphins and the Seahawks. So the Dolphins actually signed Tyler Huntley in this game. For this game, rather. Tyler Huntley is going to start for the I don't know if he's going to start now. I think it's going to be Skylar Thompson starting as well. They're not going to have Tua maybe for the rest of the season, or certainly a good portion of it. They're going to have to go into Seattle and win. Seattle is really clicking on all cylinders. We know the defense would be improved with Mike McDonald. We are absolutely seeing that. Geno Smith looks pretty good as well. Good for him. I think he's absolutely playing well here at the start, even without Kenneth Walker in there. Metcalf has looked terrific so far. I don't think there's any question about it. I think even if they would have had Tua, I think Dolphins would have had a hard time beating the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks actually win this game. The Chargers and the Steelers, both 2-0, an ugly 2-0 for the Squealers. I think the Chargers are exactly what I said they'd be. Very good running, physical football team. Look how good J.K. Dobbins is. Look how good Gus is. Joe Alt in the draft actually picking that over the wide receiver. That has worked out. They're doing exactly what I thought they would do. The defense is actually better here at the start, which is actually exactly what I said happened. Chargers aren't bad. Chargers are going to be decent. I think I would say they're a little thin and they lack depth. Steelers are pretty much kind of what we thought they were as well. Steelers are, I think, have a good defense. Obviously, I think it's better. The offense isn't going to work over a whole season. Fields is in it. I don't think here. I know the fans want Justin Fields. Fields, I would say, is fun to watch if you watch him. I think that's the reason why people like him better than Justin Fields. That's why they liked him in Chicago, because he's fun to watch. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. A little bit too inaccurate to beat the Chargers, I think. I think the Chargers actually go in there and get a win. I think they have more discipline than as well. The Steelers, I would say, they're trudging along. It's winning ugly, and they know it, and they're doing what they need to do here so far. They're in first in the North. 49ers and the Rams. The Niners have some problems as well. They did lose last week to Minnesota. Minnesota has really been a bit of a surprise here. Brock Purdy, I think, is leading the NFL in passing yards as well. There's going to be no Deebo Samuel here. There's going to be no Christian McCaffrey for a while. Jordan Mason is going to take his spot. He had a good first game as well. The line has kind of struggled on offensive line. It's kind of got pushed around pretty good. Defensively, I think they're going to be fine. I think the 49ers have too many good players on defense. Fred Warner, even though they're missing Drake Greenlaw there as well. I think their secondary, I think, is really good. So I think they're good. I think they just kind of caught a bad. I think they just had a bad Sunday against the 49ers. The Rams have all type of problems. I mean, Stafford's still there. Both of the receivers aren't going to go. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are probably so important to what they're doing. They're not there. Their running game really hasn't gotten going yet as well. Defense is still developing, not too bad yet, but I don't think – and they usually struggle against the Niners anyway. I mean, even in their best days, they really struggle against the Niners. So I got to take the Niners in this one. The Chefs and the Falcons in this one. I like the Falcons here so far. What we've seen, I think the Falcons again, kind of like the are what they thought they were. Falcons, I think, aren't a bad team. Kirk Cousins looked decent last week. It's been a while since they had some decent quarterback. I mean, they've been putrid at the QB spot for a while. So Cousins was good. Won a primetime game. Good for them. Usually that's been the bugaboo with him. Can't win a primetime game. Bijan Robinson, I think, is solid. I think offensively they're gonna do pretty well. I mean, Pitts hasn't turned out how they thought. Defensively, they're not great. I think they signed Simmons and Judon. I think that helps a little. They kind of bring the defense to kind of where it needs to be. The Chefs it's really hard to beat them. I don't think they're ready yet to beat the Chefs. I think the Chefs haven't looked great here so far. 2 close games, 2 close wins at home against good teams. But I think they go ahead into Atlanta and win. Mahomes, I think, hasn't even played well yet. I don't think he hasn't even played well yet. I would say run game could be an issue, losing Isaiah Pacheco to injury this week. That doesn't surprise me the way he runs, having the Pacheco injury, but we will see about that. And Jags and Bills out the 5. Bills are better than I thought they were, a little bit better. Offensively, they're pretty much kind of what I thought. They lost the receivers, so they're running the ball more. James Cook, they scored a lot of points in these 2 games, and they haven't even thrown the ball out. So offensively, they're doing what I thought. Where I'm surprised is their defense is much better. Their D-line across the board is really good. Devon Miller is back. He looked washed last year. He's a really major improvement as well. The Jags is off to a slow start. I think it continues. Lawrence I think he's starting to regress. I think offensive line, he doesn't have it here, and it showed. He's not